Hello physical fiends, it is Jordan here with some more discounts. Black Friday is ramping up and there's been some more deals that have caught my eye. All games mentioned in this video are linked down below in the description and pinned comment. Any purchase made massively helps support me and this channel in the best way possible, and all discounts are correct at the time of me making this video. Let's start with VGP, Video Games Plus, who have free worldwide shipping on orders over 75 Canadian bucks, that's like 54 American dollars. Persona 5 Strikers is a fantastic price on both Nintendo Switch and PlayStation 4, with the Switch version being slightly more expensive, but $7 American dollars is just a steal, and it's a nice hack and slash variant of Persona 5 with a whole new story and is a lot of fun from what I've heard. As a spin-off, it didn't sell as well or get the same kind of recognition, but supposedly a really good game if you're really into the Persona 5 universe. DreadOut 2 is a rather pleasant $18 on Nintendo Switch. If you were looking for a hearty, budgeted Fatal Frame type of game, then look no further than this. I liked it quite a lot, and it is worth exploring if you want a very nice indie horror game over the Christmas period, as you do. Super Alloy Ranger is a fine game, but it was probably a bit too pricey for a fun but simple side-scrolling action game. The launch price was a bit too much, but now at 14 American dollars on Nintendo Switch for a physical copy, that is great, especially if you are a fan of Mega Man X. Those sort of games, you'll probably really enjoy this, especially for this price. The Mercenaries series is available on a discount. Not every game in the series, but for between $17 to $28 on Switch and PlayStation 4, you can get some really commendable tactical RPGs that really want to be Final Fantasy Tactics. Obviously, with Final Fantasy Tactics now available on Switch and PlayStation 5, there's not a huge need for these lesser products, but if you need more of the genre, then they are a decent shout. You can't go wrong with them. Class of Heroes 1 and 2 Complete and Class of Heroes 3 Remaster. Like, if you are looking for some massive, grindy dungeon crawling RPGs, then look no further than the Class of Heroes series. There are 2 physical releases on Switch and PlayStation 5, and both are discounted at VGP. The 1 and 2 double pack is down to $22, whereas the recently released third game is down to $28 already. Not a huge bargain, but it's not been out that long. Discounty has only been out for a few months at this point, but Discounty has already been discounted. On Switch, it's down to a really respectable $25, while the PlayStation 5 version is even more attractive at $22. This is a management game that has a bit of narrative to it, offering up to 20 hours of gameplay as you build your grocery store and socialize with the locals and try to make them like you. We've all been there before. Pocket Bravery has some nice discounted prices, all different depending on the console. As per usual, the Nintendo Switch version is more expensive, but still a tempting $14, whereas PlayStation 5 is a head-turning $10, and PlayStation 4 is a please buy me, I'm so lonely $7. It is a fighting game that's trying to be like a Neo Geo Pocket Color game, not the greatest, but a cool curiosity. Button Up is often found quite cheap these days, but it's $7 now, so it kind of needs to be bought as an impulse purchase. It is a platformer party game where you can play by yourself if you want to, or via co-op, and have a very solid time, since reviews are really positive overall. I think it was just priced a bit high at first, so it didn't sell as well, but $7, it's basically free. Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance on PlayStation 5 is perhaps the best way to play this massive JRPG, the newer version of what once was a Nintendo exclusive, but it's on PlayStation 5 and it's down to $14. If you want a massive JRPG with, I think, 2 stories pretty much, like there's a branching point, you kind of have 2 stories, you have great combat, you have monster collecting, then you should probably have this in your collection if you don't already. Now the Switch version is discounted to $25, but PlayStation at $14, that's the way to go. It'll look better and it's easier on the wallet. Persona 3 Reload is the remake of Persona 3 and probably the way to play it these days. It's like the 4th iteration of the game. There was the original, there was the Fez version, portable, and now a proper remake in Reload. Now, I know people complained about the lack of the portable content, but it is a meaty enough JRPG that looks great and is super affordable at $14 on PlayStation 5. Definitely grab it if you haven't already. Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth. Which Yakuza game is this? I have no idea, but it's cheap and it's quality. You know what you're gonna get with these Yakuza games, and for me, probably worth it for the arcade games alone. Like, who doesn't want to play Sega Bass Fishing on your PlayStation 5? Like, forget about being a gangster or whatever. I'd pay $14 just for Sega Bass Fishing on a PS5. Now, the three I just mentioned, the sales for them will end in like one day. So if you want Shin Megami Tensei 5, Persona 3 Reload, or Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, you should probably act on those sooner rather than later. Alright, let's move on to PNP games. A couple of deals that have caught my eye over there. Shovel Knight Treasure Trove truly lives up to its name. A true treasure trove of content that contains Shovel Knight and all of its DLC updates that might as well just be sequels, because they tend to have just as much, if not more content than the main game. And for just $22 at PNP Games on Nintendo Switch, that is fantastic. Mass Effect Legendary Edition is $7 on Xbox. The whole trilogy remade for $7. It seems almost criminal, but I mean, saying that, I have heard these remasters aren't as good as the original, which, I mean, we can say about that of like 90% of remasters these days, if we're being brutally honest. Remasters tend to be not as good as the original, but still, unless you know and you compare them side by side, you probably wouldn't notice that much, and you get 3 great games together. And those are some discounts that have caught my eye. Any purchase made via the links below, I do truly thank you from the bottom of my heart, and I hope you all have a fantastic day. Take care.